Alright, I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm doing exactly what it says on the title. I am reacting to and explaining your hottest Jujutsu Kaisen takes. Oh my days, I cried at one point.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Toji is a bum and a terrible character. But yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, I'll be honest, when I started recording this, I was too lazy to do the intro now, so I'm just gonna hope that, you know, future me does it. We're doing JJK hot takes. I'm gonna start off with the top post by Your Average Penguin. Miwa isn't all that bad among the Kyoto students. She never gets a fair fight. She only gets 2 fights on screen, Maki and Kenjaku. Simple Domain is a good ability to have, and she's probably not half bad as a Jujutsu source. Oh, what a good start. Simple Domain is a good ability to have, and she's probably not half bad at Jujutsu. She just constantly gets unfair fights. Well, first of all, she's terrible at Jujutsu, because Jujutsu in itself literally means the curse technique, like you're using Jujutsu curses, which she doesn't have. So yeah, all she has is a sword. I'm getting a call already. Oh, everything's going wrong. Yuji and Maki's physicals are crazy high, which screw over a physical fighter, and her only other opponent has curse spirit manipulation and at least 1,000 years of experience. Girl just can't catch a break. It's true, Miwa did kind of get the Jogo treatment. Like, she fought Maki, who is just, you know, when they're fighting in a fight of what is going to be physical strength, yeah, it's true, she got really unlucky both times. But she is a burger. Let's be real, she is a complete burger. Like, it's a hot take. It is I'm rating it a solid 7 out of 10. Like, this is a crispy take, alright? Miwa is pretty trash. From Gaming Pog, the ending is good, and actually the final arc is cohesive. Definitely a hot take. This is like a 9 out of 10. Super crispy. This is like burnt level kind of crispy right here, okay? Yeah, no, the ending is good. I agree with the take in that the final arc itself is actually very cohesive. There are issues, obviously. As a whole, the ending to Jujutsu Kaisen isn't good. The ending to that arc is very good, and Sukuna's arc is very good. But in terms of being a hot take, yes, it's definitely a hot take to say that the ending is good. Absolutely. Although I feel like it's lessening a fair bit. Do you know what? I'm changing my answer. I'm going to make it an 8 out of 10 because I feel like people are starting to forgive the ending a bit. From Blocky Mountain Lion, we have Yuji is underrated and outshined by everyone despite him being the MC. It's a hot take because I don't think Yuji is underrated at all. And he's not outshined by everyone despite him being the MC. For some reason, because of Bleach, I think I'd say it's mostly due to Bleach. Everyone has the idea that is a rule in shonen. The main character must be the strongest by the end of the story. It's just not true. Like, it does not, there is nothing that requires that to happen. You can have a perfectly good main character who doesn't end out being the strongest. I think Yuji has some of the best writing and themes in the whole series. So I don't think he was outshined. He's definitely top 10, like 6th or 7th. You can argue, like, by the end of the series, he's top 3 because everyone's dead. But out of the whole verse, he's still crazy, crazy broken. I don't think he's outshined at all. No, not at all. Maybe only by Gojo, but he kind of had his own moment, and after that, it's Yuji's show. So that's a solid, like, I've heard it before, so 8 out of 10, again. Jogo is top 10 strongest. Okay, so we're delusional. I see how it is. Okay, so we're putting Arame, Ryu, like Hikari, Yuta, Maki, Yorozu, Yuki, Gojo, Sukuna, Yuji, Toji, damn it, Curse Naoya, Mahito, Kusakabe. So many strong characters in this series. Uro. What are we doing here? What? Kashimo. And you're telling me out of all the names I've just listed, you think he's top 10? What? Hell no, bro. Definitely a hot take, but I've heard it before, so like, another 8 out of 10, crispy edging on burnt. Now from the GOAT of JJK YouTube and horror YouTube, which is a weird mix, we have Josh Inbetweener, good friend of mine. Outside of the final version of Todo with the Vibroslap, Kusakabe is the strongest grade 1. Absolute facts, by the way, nobody comes close. Not Meimei, not Nanami, not Usami, no one, bro. Even Shibuya Todo, I don't think is putting hands on Kusakabe, I'm gonna be real. I think Kusakabe is him, the narrative is there. I think it's not that hot of a take, I think it's like 6 out of 10. This is like, this is well cooked. It's a well cooked take, alright? It's maybe a little bit overdone, but it's in that 5 or 6 region out of 10. Yeah, no, Kusakabe, strongest grade 1. You don't have reading comprehension if you can't figure that out. The reason why Todo with Vibroslap is above him is because that's a different creature, alright? That's a different creature. Okay, now from Kane McCarthy, 1979. The ending is the natural conclusion of the story with its lack of world building. People trying to act like the ending is some outlier and not a result of the bad decisions that led to that point are ignoring the core. Okay, I understand what he's saying. He's saying the reason we expected more and the reason the ending feels dissatisfying is because we didn't get enough substance during the actual story. As much as I completely do agree with that and think Jujutsu Kaisen, it has great world building in that there is a world that has been built. It's just that we haven't been told what it is, if that makes sense. Like, so yes, I agree. If we had been shown these things progressively throughout the story instead of it all dumped on us in the ending, that would be better. What people wanted is for it to be dumped on us in the ending because we hadn't got it, and we didn't even get that. So not getting it or getting it all dumped at the end are both kind of bad conclusions. We obviously have a preference, one over the other. I completely agree with what he's saying. It should have been done throughout the story, but people aren't really thinking like that. So that's another, like, 8 out of 10. This is overdone, edging on burnt, like crispy right now. Yuji isn't even special grade. What? He's only seen as... Okay, I'm going to read the rest of it before I start tweaking. He is only seen as such because he was the one who weakened Mahito, which is... No, that's not... Okay. Which he needed help with, and didn't even have the strength to kill him. Even against Sukuna, he needed 20 people and a domain to kill him. How... Gojo is special grade, Yuta is special grade, Yuki is special grade, Geto is special grade. There are so many other unregistered special grades. A condition of being special grade is not being able to beat Sukuna, bro. Gojo is top 1 special grade, and even he couldn't beat Sukuna. So that means nothing, alright? And needed a domain to kill him? You don't say. What character in the verse could possibly... Like, even Gojo needs a domain to do anything to Sukuna, so that's silly. Yuji isn't even special grade. Technically, by how special grade works, you're right, he isn't a special grade, because he doesn't really have the power to take down a nation. But in terms of, like, combat prowess, he's on that special grade level, no doubt. Like, he's top 10. Outrageous take, definitely. Like, that's... I might... I'm gonna save 10. I'm giving it a burnt. It's 9. It's 9 out of 10. Completely burnt take. Horrific. From Pop Goes My Ball. Jesus Christ, that name. Kenjaku had a great ending. Oh my... I've been written... Bro has written a sequel to the Bible in my comment section. Alright, let's go. He's dropped a load on us. Kenjaku had a great ending. Baka Survivor is my favorite span of chapters in JJK. I think that's Takava versus Kenjaku. Merger not happening is good. It happening would have required everyone to die. Okay, read the series. If by everyone you mean the population of Japan, then yes. If by everyone you mean all the sorcerers and our characters, no. Because it's stated many times that sorcerers are not affected by the merger. Mei isn't a bad character for being a bad person. I can agree with that, but she hasn't got much else to her, so, you know. But for the fact she never gets consequences for her actions, yeah, I mean, she's just not that well fleshed out. Kyoto school students are overhated, except Momo. Okay, yes, because Kokichi, Muta, and Todo we know are the goats. Miwa's just nice. She never wanted to be anything special. She never acts like anything special. She's a good person. Mai is a bum and deserves the hate. I can't lie. Yeah. And Momo too. Yeah. So basically, you're not wrong, but yeah. Curse Spirits became underutilized to the stories. Yes, Curse Spirits were very underutilized. For a story that's all about curses and they're meant to be the worst thing ever, yeah, they're hella underutilized. Yuji's blood manipulation isn't used nearly enough. Completely agree. W take. That's like that should be a solid like 1 out of 10. This is raw. This is a raw take. Not hot at all. Perfect take. Yuji's blood manipulation definitely should have been used. Gay, please. Yuji and Kenjaku's dynamic was wasted. Agreed. Oh, these are some W takes. I can't lie. Yuta should have stayed in Gojo's body. I'm on the fence about that. I don't know, but yeah, I see it. I think he should have. That whole situation's weird. It's a hot take. I'd say it's like 6 or 7, but yeah, I see it. JJK's final chapter was good. I like it. It's nothing special. Daido might be the best fighter in the series. The guy who pieced up Naoya with a Soul Split Katana. I mean, he might be, for all we know. Who knows? Toge is strong, W to, oh, this guy's cooking. Especially since he managed to freeze Sukuna in place for enough time to chant a hollow purple and shoot it, while Toge was missing an arm, weakening him, and he came out fine without lasting damage. Yes, bro, Inumaki is the GOAT, put some respect on his name, alright? Hana is overhated. Okay, this might be the first L take. Angel's overhated, not Hana. Hana is not hated enough, I'll be real with you. Let's see what he's got to say. Hana is overhated simply for making a human mistake. That's not a human mistake. Right, do you know what? I'll read it first. I'll read it first. The others in the series have done too, with even less of an excuse, aka mistaking Sukuna for his vessel. When did that happen? And being a mildly cringe teenage girl. People say she's useless, but she freed Gojo. Angel within her recommended Takaba to fight Kenjaku. She saved Yuji and Maki from death. She proved Megumi can be freed from Sukuna, and she attacked Sukuna at the end. All of those things are Angel, okay? Those benefits are Angel, okay? Angel is doing those things, because Angel is overhated. It's not her fault she got stuck inside a bum. Hana, on the other hand, the actual vessel, burger. Absolute burger, like... Oh my god, bro, she fell for the most GCSE drama acting performance from Megan ever. Oh wait, it's fine. I'm okay now, Hana-kun. I'm fine. Please come give me a hug, person who I barely even remember. Hana is a grown-ass woman. It's like luring a kid to a van with candy. 7-year-olds don't fall for that shit anymore. Why is Hana falling for it? Sorry, yeah, that's a 9 out of 10 burning hot take, bro. Hana is a bum. Sorry, I'm getting way too caught up on this Hana thing. I think the Kyoto arc started off kind of corny because of the high schoolers fighting, like they want to kill each other over a competition. It only got good when Hanami broke into the school grounds. I kind of agree. I think Todo's part of it was amazing because it's so over the top. I'd say it does reflect well on what Gege wants Jujutsu sorcerers and Jujutsu society to be seen like. It's a kind of important theme, so I'm okay with it, but I agree it is kind of corny. Overall though, bro, W takes. I'm not going to give you an overall rating because I can't remember what I thought of all of them, but I know there were some W takes in here, absolutely. Especially the blood manipulation one, dear god. Okay, moving on from DXT. Yuji is a pillow puncher. All the heavy hitters are Five-Finger Sukuna. Yeah. NBA Kashimo is top 3, hell no. 20-finger Yuji Kuna over Shinjuku Gojo. Yeah, that's not crazy. Okay, so number 1, L take, 9 out of 10, burnt. It's burnt. It's a burnt take. Hella, like, crispy. Number 2, it's not crazy. I give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10, I think. It's like, it's overdone, but it's not crazy. Again, in terms of it being a take, a lot of people think he's top 3. I'll give you a 6 out of 10. It's like slightly overdone. It's wrong. It's wrong. But if I say why, this video is going to be a lot longer than I want it to be, so I'm going to swiftly move on. Due to the sheer amount of Gojo fans that exist, this is like a 7, 8 out of 10 hot take. Like, this is edging on burnt take right here. But it's not crazy. It's not a crazy take, it's just not a lot of people think it. You're kind of like only really 2 for 4 here. Cool, okay. Gojo, Sukuna, Gojo, Sukuna. Strongest win, better. Honestly, this might be the smartest JJK fan. I can't lie. This guy knows what he's talking about, alright? No mindless power scaling, no stupid nonsense. He's got reading comprehension, clearly. W take, alright? First 0 out of 10, cold take, brilliant. Love it. Perfection. Anyway, from Fire's Sultan. Yuji is the best written character in the series. I mean, it's all opinion-based, I don't think so, but he's definitely up there for me, probably like top 3 or 4. W take, it's definitely not hot. You're like 3 or 4 out of 10. Maybe because Gojo's the like 4 or... Yeah, I'll give you a 4. We'll give you a 4 out of 10. It's like, it's nearly done. It's nearly cooked perfectly, a little bit longer. Your boy Plank, the GOAT, the Kenjaku Glazer himself, writes a comment about Kenjaku, I should have guessed. The story died as soon as Kenjaku did. No. Yuji and Sukuna's dynamic, Maki's, okay, maybe not Maki, Yuta and Gojo's dynamic, that whole, like, narrative, the ending with the Mahito stuff, brilliant, peak. Kenjaku's got nothing to do with that, it's awesome. I agree we missed out on a lot of good potential story, but no, I don't think the story died when Kenjaku did. And from Monochrome, we have another Kenjaku take. Kenjaku is entirely wasted. He was the smartest character in the verse, no, Todo. Bird, the main character. Yeah. Made a plan for the merger, got sneak attacked, and then said this will... this would get passed on, and then the merger wasn't even mentioned again. Okay, yeah. Like, it didn't have to happen, but we literally never even touch on this for the rest of the series. He just had so much potential, and it was like Gege forgot about it. I don't necessarily agree with all of it, you're right about some stuff, but it's not a hot take because so many people think this. This is like another 3 or 4 out of 10, like, it's nearly done, because... Again, I think people are warming up to the idea that Kenjaku wasn't that important. I wish he was. I really do. I think Gege fumbled, but it's not a hot take. I think a lot of people feel like this. Oh my god, it's Scritch Real says that Yuta could in fact have beaten a 15-finger Sukuna because, you know, Yuji says that in Shibuya. I believe that Yuji asking Yuta to do so after witnessing the damage of Shibuya through the lens of Sukuna is good proof of this, considering Yuji would likely know better than anyone the strength of Sukuna at this stage. It's like a 7 out of... Like, it's overdone. It's overdone. Not a lot of people think this at all, and for good reason, because as much as I am the biggest Yuta Glazer on the platform, he's not beating 15-finger Sukuna. If it's Gege's author intention, like, I'm happy to put author intention over that and say yes, maybe. But I don't think it is author intention even. I think he kind of... Maybe at the time it was, but Gege, I reckon he changed his mind. Because it's, like, 15-finger Sukuna slams everybody not named Gojo. I'm gonna be real with you. The fact that Ryu Ishigori, a man stated to have equal durability to end of story Yuta, not Shibuya Yuta, was one-shot by a cleave to the face and blitzed by a cleave, right, means that Yuta and Yuji are gonna suffer the exact same fate. End of story Yuta will meet the same end that Ryu did, okay? So no, Yuta does not beat that version of Sukuna. Although, if Sukuna plays around, it would be his toughest fight. Harder than Maharaga, I think. Right, this is from August reading comprehension? Goddamn. August Belter. No. Oh my god. You can read. You figure it out. This is going to be super nitpicky and weird, but hot take? Sukuna should have got the 10 shadows back during the Shinjuku showdown. And Hikari should have been a part of the fight with Sukuna. Well, that's a freezing... That's a 0 out of 10 take right there. If only for the sake of seeing Maharaga try to adapt to Hikari's cracked out domain expansion, it would have been peak comedy. Okay, I don't agree with the 10 Shadows part. I think we should have been given a better reason as to why the 10 Shadows was gone. But if he kept it, we lose. So, you know. But Hikari fighting Sukuna, W take, 0 out of 10, like duh. Joseph Pruitt. Realistically, Sukuna should have died after Gojo's first Black Flash. Holy glaze! He falls over unconscious, and because, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, in Jujutsu Kaisen, it's been a long-standing thing that if you fall over and happen to be unconscious, you instantly die, which is exactly why this guy is completely correct. And somehow still activates the 10 Shadows Shadow Pit and falls into that. Okay, I kind of understand why that's iffy, especially when Maharaga gets summoned in Infinite Void. I think the explanation we get there is strong binding vow Sukuna planned in advance for this kind of situation, which matches Sukuna's character, and it would work provided we actually saw Sukuna making the vows in question, instead of just show not tell. Realistically, he is unable to activate 10 Shadows and just flops onto the ground where Gojo blows his head off with a red. I agree with the not liking how it's done, but absolutely not should he have died there. Think about it narratively. Imagine we get to that point in the fight and Gojo just kills him. That's so boring. I know the Gojo Glazers would slurp it up, but it's so boring. Like, I'm sorry, overall it's an L take. Like, this is a 8 or 9 out of 10, like, you've burnt it. You've burnt it. Alright, hot take. Sukuna's technique isn't even top 20. The reason he is OP is because he is skilled. I think it is definitely top 20. I don't think it's top 5. I think top 10 is generous. If you gave Sukuna's technique to a grade 1 sorcerer like Nanami, with average grade 1 cursed energy, average grade 1 output and ability, it's not all that. It will do well against anything below his level. It will do evenly against things on his level. It will do pretty bad against things not on his level, because you'll just be, like, output restricted. So yeah, I think Sukuna's technique is nowhere near as good as someone like Gojo's or Yuta's, or even blood manipulation, I think, is an amazing technique. It's the fact that Sukuna has it makes it the best. Like, OP, so good. I'd say top 20 though. Not even top 20 is a crazy. That's like that. Yeah, that's a 9 out of 10. You've burnt it, bro, because that technique is still broken. Well, you're putting Momo's like what cursed tool manipulation above that. All right. 1. The merger should have happened. We're seeing a lot of mixed opinions on the merger. I like it. I really think it could have been a good way to rid the world of most of cursed energy. I agree. And I really think the merger could have worked by simply limiting the cursed energy to those in the barrier Kenjaku created. I think we could either optimize cursed energy by having the barriers Tengen... I think we could either optimize cursed energy by having the barriers Tengen had become more widespread and culminate a new world of sorcerers, or the barriers could just get rid of cursed energy altogether. Oh, there's more. 2. Okay, well, let's talk about the first one. I agree, merger probably should have happened in some capacity. Not the way everyone thought it would, where it would be like this big final boss and... you know, that whole thing. It should have had a role. I think getting rid of cursed energy, like the whole theme of Jujutsu Kaisen is about that curse of cursed energy. I agree. Not a lot of people kind of think it should be used for this reason, though. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. I think you've cooked. I think you have successfully cooked with that take. 2. The Heian Era body would not have made a huge difference in the battle against Gojo. Other than physicals, Gojo is able to control the pace when farther away than Sukuna even now, and Sukuna barely chants, if at all, except for wild cutting slash. Well, that's not true because the point of the mouth is that it's kind of constantly chanting. It's passive. I don't think it would have made a huge difference. It's definitely the vocal minority of Sukuna fans who think they're the majority would say that it is a hot take. It's not, because the amount of... I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying the amount of Gojo fans realistically in the world massively tower over the Sukuna fans. So it's not a particularly hot take. It's like 6, maybe 7. Like, it's overdone, but not crazy. Physicals, yeah, I think if you were to put Sukuna, like Heian form Sukuna and Gojo in a boxing ring with only like their techniques and anything else but not their domains and said fight, Gojo would win still. Like, I think even in a hand-to-hand battle, Gojo still slams Heian or Sukuna. The difference is just it should not be that much at all. Damn, that felt like I had crazy aura just then. Anyway, moving on. The Heian era... Oh, I've read that one. Okay, I've just lost all the aura. 3. Megumi Fushiguro's potential was not his technique, Maharaga, but rather his mindset. A lot of people chalk his growth up to his technique, but his intellect and mindset made him one of the deadliest sorcerers to fight. Absolutely, he was a very dangerous guy. He went into Tokyo Colony being ready to kill absolutely anybody he found. I think you've cooked. Decent take, yeah. And Maharaga himself is not... That's not the full potential of the technique. The full potential of the technique, even without Maharaga, is still like top 5 in the verse. It's crazy. Kashimo is top 3, L take. Again, it's like 6 or 7 because a lot of people used to think it, not so much anymore. But you're wrong. He lost to Hikari. He did lose to Hikari, it's a fact. He just did. Do you know what I mean? Kusakabe did more damage to Sukuna than NBA Kashimo. It is a fact. Megana shouldn't have been a thing. Bro, you're just mad. You're just mad. Let's be real. This is a poo-poo take, bro. 9 out of 10, you've burnt it. You've burnt it. Poo-poo take. It's terrible. It's... Again, I'm gonna go on an hour-long rant if I say everything I want to say, but you're just angry that Megana was the way that Sukuna died. It's great. It's set up right from the beginning. Sukuna shows an interest in Megumi, shows an interest in Maharaga even more so, executes the plan to perfection with the Enchained thing. It's all built up. It's an insanely cool ability. The fight is way more cool than it would have been because he could use the 10 Shadows. If he could only use Dismantle and Cleave, it would have been boring because Gojo couldn't be touched. Adding 10 Shadows to the fight to make it more tense and closer meant the fight was way more interesting. It would have been so boring without it. Really boring. Because whichever way you think of it, without the 10 Shadows, without Megana, Gojo would have been slammed instantly, or Sukuna would have been slammed, or not instantly, but like they would have slammed each other. There would have been a definitive winner before the domain clashes failed. I don't care which one you think it is, it's just, it would have been boring, it would have been over really quick. So yes, it absolutely should have been a thing, because it made everything much more exciting. You're just upset that he killed Gojo. Geto should have been the main villain. No, I think that is a hot take. I've never heard that before. That's another, like, you've burnt it. I don't blame you for thinking it. Geto was an amazing villain. I think he was amazing because of the villain that he was, though. He was the setup villain. He kind of paved the way for Gojo's story and everything. I think it would have been very different and not as good if he was the main villain. Pardon me. Again, losing aura points by the second. Yeah, I think the reason Geto is so good as a villain is because he wasn't the main villain. Wisdom. Mahito would have surpassed Sukuna given enough time. Idol Transfiguration is such a versatile curse technique and also negates pretty much any physical damage that he receives unless his opponent is a direct counter or is aware of the soul, which is maybe 1% of all people who meet those two conditions. Not crazy. I'm gonna say not crazy. Yes, full potential Mahito would probably be top 1. I agree. You cooked. 5 out of 10. Good job. Okay, well, he's explained more, though. He can have an army of transfigured humans at his disposal. Yep. Amplify his stats by increasing body size. Yeah, he can change the size of his body. Also has insane talent. Yes, he copied Gojo's 0.2 second domain expansion. And his sure hit is guaranteed win. Absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot I'm forgetting, but Mahito definitely would have become more powerful than Sukuna if he had... Yes, I agree. You cooked. 5 out of 10. Like, perfectly cooked take. I'm realizing now my ranking system doesn't make much sense. 5 out of 10 sounds mid, but 5 out of 10 is the best. No. 5 out of 10 is like, you cooked. That's a perfectly balanced take. 0 out of 10 is, it's not hot at all, everyone thinks it, it's common knowledge, read the series. 10 out of 10 is like, well, it's never gonna happen, you're wrong. Read the series. Anyway, Miwa Solo's your favorite character? W take, everyone thinks this. 0 out of 10. Explosive Grape. People need to accept JJK has a lot of bad plot conveniences. A lot of people think so. It's somewhere in the 4 to 6 range. Like, you've kind of cooked, but also not really, a bit. It's a pretty warm take. I disagree. I also disagree with this part. People need to accept. Why? Why do people need to accept it? If someone enjoys JJK, even if it has bad plot conveniences, why? Them accepting it would probably lessen their enjoyment of the story. So why would you want someone to enjoy something less? There's no benefit to you in that. There's no benefit to them in that. People don't need to accept anything. Let them think, well, that's why I have no problem if you have a hot take, like you think Gojo slams Sukuna, or you think Sukuna slams Gojo. You could be dead wrong, I don't care, like, think what you want. Whatever allows you to enjoy the show the best, think that way, alright? No one needs to accept anything, it's silly. Hot take from Eternal Flame, another YouTuber goat and a good friend of mine. Hot take, Kenjaku would not have worked well as people think as a final villain. Interesting. Potentially, although I think he would have made a much better final villain for Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole as opposed to Sukuna. Sukuna was a good final villain for like Gojo and Yuji and those themes of isolation and stuff. The grander themes in Jujutsu Kaisen of cursed energy and the cycle of curses and all of that stuff, I do think Kenjaku was the best villain for, because he is more similar to like Yura from Kagurabachi or kind of Aizen as well, in that it's all in the planning, alright? It's all in the brains, rather than the, I don't know, I'd say honestly more similar to Kisuke, not necessarily the absolute strongest power-wise, still broken, but not number 1, but you are just blatantly the smartest. It makes you dangerous. I think it would have been interesting to see. But in terms of being a hot take, I think a lot of people think this. I mean, it's at like 6 or 7, it's pretty hot, yeah, fair. I know that you said this already, but most of my friends still think otherwise. The Culling Games arc is criminally underrated and overlooked arc. As a whole and as a build-up to you-know-what. Absolutely. I keep burping. Oh, my aura's going down by the second. But yeah, you're right. Like, I'm making a series on it right now. You can go watch it. Like, the Culling Games is criminally underrated. It stands alone as a perfect arc within Jujutsu Kaisen, has some incredible fights. The themes run through it so well and builds up to the endgame. Just because the endgame isn't necessarily what everyone wanted it to be doesn't mean that everything that came before it is any worse. It's very good. I think the Culling Games is incredible, and I think people will realize that when the anime drops. W take, you cooked. Good job. Yorozu would be every modern sorcerer except Gojo in a 1 vs 1 battle. I agree with the exception of Yuta because I am a glazer. But it is a hot take. This is like 7 or 8. People underrate Yorozu criminally. You're completely right though. Yorozu is a beast, like top 5. The only 2 modern day sorcerers, except from Satoru Gojo of course, who could probably take on Yorozu in a 1v1 is Yuta and Yuki. Before you jump on me, I'm saying Yuki because people don't understand just how busted she is, bro. Alright? Yorozu was stated peak Heian era sorcerer. Peak Heian era sorcerer. She had a domain and no RCT. That is the skill level of peak Heian era. You can still be peak while only having one of those things. Yuki taught herself domain expansion, reverse curse technique, and how to master her technique alongside a Shikigami. Same with Yuta. They probably would beat her, but she's arguably top 5, yeah. Gojo? Yes, Gojo. Gojo should have won that fight, but I still think full power Heian era Sukuna is stronger. That is so backwards. I think, in terms of like actual power and combat ability, I think Gojo is stronger than Heian era Sukuna. But absolutely Sukuna should have won that fight. Like for Gojo's character, for the story of Jujutsu Kaisen, it makes no sense for Gojo to win that fight. It would give us nothing. It would be terrible writing. Like horrific writing for Gojo to win. It's just glaze. But again, I don't have a problem with you thinking that. If that's what you would enjoy, then so be it, but I just disagree. Higuruma should have died. I'm impartial. I don't care. I'm very indifferent about this. I'm not bothered. Yuta Gojo was a bad idea and kind of pointless. It was pointless in that it was executed badly. The conclusion to that was executed horrifically, I agree. The idea of it is not bad at all. It had been set up for a very long time. The themes are brilliant. It's amazing writing. Chapter 261 is one of the best story-driven chapters in the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen. The execution of the actual fight and what it led to was horrific, so mid-take. JJK is still a solid 8 out of 10, despite all its flaws. It's at least 8 out of 10. I think it's so good in so many aspects that it can be 9 out of 10 if you want. Like, it just can. There are issues with it, sure, but it is much better than people give it credit for, I think. And we've got another bloody essay. Nice. I said drop a hot take, not a hot book. Like, oh. Dagon beats Arame if he insta-pops domain. That is a... I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm not giving it 10, but it's 9. It's 9 out of 10. You've burnt it. It's like nearly disintegrating at this point. Horrific. I'm just not even gonna explain. You guys should know why that's not true. The reason being that he put many sorcerers in his domain that were grade 1 and below, and they weren't one-shot by the domain, so... Gojo could teleport outside of Sukuna's domain and would do it against true form Sukuna. The only reason he didn't is because he thought he could out-heal... heal out his curse technique infinite times, and Sukuna was barely stopping him. But if true form Sukuna doesn't get him close to destroying his domain, Gojo's only strategy would be teleporting out, which he would realize Gojo isn't stupid and wasn't trying to prove his strength against Sukuna, otherwise he wouldn't let Hakari and Yuta help him if he got weak. He isn't trying to die. If you think you have a one-shot ability and you miss it by 1 second, which would you choose? Teleportation or spamming domain? Yuta can clash with Kenjaku for 3 minutes. Oh, that's a separate take. okay. Yuta can clash with Kenjaku for 3 minutes. Once he has, like, the Gojo barrier, absolutely, he can probably clash for longer than 3 minutes. Hell, Yuta could probably clash anyway, without the Gojo training, because Kenjaku's domain has no feats. He has one very ambiguous statement, which people forget isn't, like, barriers are domains, but, like, not only domains. Barriers extend to a massive range of abilities in Jujutsu Kaisen. There is so much more to a domain expansion than just the barrier technique. Just because Kenjaku's barrier is elite doesn't mean that the other factors that go into his domain are superior to everyone else, which is why he doesn't necessarily have a stronger domain as you all think he does. In character, Yuji is very likely to beat Yorozu because he will nerf her output very quickly before she uses domain, or BA, I don't know what that is, and she has no RCT. Yeah, oh, bug armor, oh sorry. Yeah, but from early on in the fight, even against Megana, she does block incoming attacks with her ability. And blocking Yuji's attacks with, like, her construction ability won't affect her soul because they don't land, so... unlikely, I'm not gonna lie. But it's possible. Yeah, Yuji can definitely, he can win. It's just, yeah. Mahito over Hikari, it's not crazy. It's pretty, I think people are pretty 50-50 on that. Hikari is a very bad matchup for Yorozu. Well, yeah, because he just can't die. But if he gets trapped in that domain or hit by Perfect Sphere, he will cease to exist. And I don't think he's healing from that. They both expand their domain and she goes into burnout. Since Hikari, she goes into burnout. No, because she'd have to lose the clash. Hikari can extend a tug of war. But he has no feats. He has one statement. So we don't know that she would burn out straight away. And she probably... Would she? She might actually use the domain straight off the bat, though, if Hikari does it first, the same way that Kashimo instinctively used Hollow Wicker Basket. I see what you mean. Yeah, no, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. This is a mixed bag. Yuta should have died at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. All that hype up about what he did being a point of no return, only for it to be only for it to be kind of felt like a massive ass pull from Gege to save Yuta's ass. At least give him a permanent consequence that make all that point of no return stuff valid. Okay, it's not a massive ass pull to save Yuta, because as I've made countless videos on and won't get into too much, it had been foreshadowed for a very long time. Gege had intended to do that for a while, right? We know that for sure. So it's not an ass pull if it's pre-planned and set up. I agree, again, the consequence, I think the theme of going to the point of no return, the parallel themes of like how Yuji and Yuta have different ways of understanding Gojo. Yuji's kind of like continuing Gojo's dream, whereas Yuta's actually focused on saving Gojo himself from said pain by pushing himself down to Gojo's level, and that point of no return, thematically, is perfect. It's brilliant writing, it's beautiful. The execution of the fight and the fact that him doing it had no consequence to the fight was trash. The rest of it, though, is peak fiction. Just is what it is. So, kind of mixed bag, but you're adding on... Well, it's not really a hot take, because a lot of people, unfortunately, agree with you, but it's fine. Sukuna should have lost to Gojo. Why? Why? I mean, it's not a hot take, because again, Gojo fans are everywhere. But no! The narrative is so boring. Gojo beats Sukuna. Yuji doesn't get a say. Like, a character affected by Sukuna gets to have a shot at it. There's no point at all. Like, the whole Yuji is the main character, who has a very strong relationship and dynamic with the main villain of Sukuna. What's the point if Yuji doesn't do it? If he's not involved at all in taking down the main villain? Imagine a shonen where the main character has nothing to do with taking down the main villain. And you're saying to me that's gonna be peak fiction, yeah? Hell no, bro. You're just a glazer. But it's fine. You're entitled to that opinion. Even if it's gonna drive me fucking insane. Gege not having Megumi fulfill his untapped potential is good, in a sense. That's an odd one. That's an odd one. It shows he didn't have the mindset of a strongest like Gojo or Sukuna. We know he wants to live a life with those he cares for around him, mainly Yuji and Sumiki. For me, where this doesn't hit is mainly the lack of seeing the time when Megumi and Sumiki lived together. That I can completely agree with. Developing the bond and care we know he had in the story, yeah, I agree. It's bad that we didn't see it. It would reinforce his drive for the way he acted in the Culling Games that much more. With the exception of this first sentence, so far, you're absolutely completely right. As well as his fall to despair when Sukuna took Sumiki's life, essentially too much tell, not enough show. Oh, too much tell, not enough show. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I understood his pain, but didn't really feel anything when Sukuna took Sumiki's life. Yeah, me neither. The concept was good, just the execution was subpar, putting it... Yeah, I agree. Again, Gege not having Megumi fulfill his untapped full potential is good in a sense. I don't see how this statement is related to anything else you've said. It shows he didn't have a mindset of the strongest. He didn't. But I think the whole point is that his mindset wasn't really good either. His mindset was, I'm gonna throw my life away at every opportunity I get and give up. And he stayed that way. Like, developed a bit against like the Finger Bearer and Reggie and then immediately regressed and didn't develop. Gege wrote a character that he teased development for and never had developed, which maybe if you like that kind of thing, it's unique, it's a different way of going about it, then sure. I can see why people like it, but I'm just not a fan. I wish he got developed. Gojo and Sukuna are not the most powerful characters, Tengen is. The only reason she isn't mentioned when talking about the most powerful sorcerers is because the barriers are not used for fighting. What do you mean by powerful? Because, believe it or not, this conversation actually happens in Jujutsu Kaisen. When Kenjaku says Tengen's immortal, Jogo says, well, surely that means Tengen is more powerful than Gojo and Sukuna, and Kenjaku says, no, they're a feeble old woman, well, feeble old person who just lives. There's no power in that, you just stay alive, you can't die, fine, but you're not powerful, are you? So, and the intention of that is because once you reveal that Tengen is immortal, the viewers are going to think, oh, so they're stronger than Gojo and Sukuna. It's a device for, that conversation was a method of telling the audience that no, Tengen is not that powerful, so yeah, definitely a hot take. That's like 8 or 9, crisp. You've burnt it, it's crispy. Hot take, Gojo's infinity is subatomic. It isn't limited by accuracy. I don't care, to be honest. Okay, to be fair, I did ask for your hot takes, but this whole, because he used the word atomic level, everyone gets so obsessed with it. I just don't think Gege thought that much about it, to be honest. We don't know. It is a hot take because most people would go off what they read in the manga, which it states blatantly that it is atomic level. So disagree with Gege? I get, if you're disagreeing with Gege, it's a hot take, let's be real, it's like 9 out of 10. We haven't got 10 so far though. Hot take, Yuki is the best character and can beat Yuta in a fight. I've just said we haven't found a 10. I cursed it. I've liked this comment, by the way. I think I've read it. I think it was early. And I read it and I was like, I'm liking this because this is going to be the one. This is the one. This is our first 10 out of 10. Yuki is the best character. In all of Jujutsu Yuji, Todo, Gojo, Yuta, Sukuna, Kenjaku, Geto, Inamaki, Maki, Hikari. Hell, if you like him, Kashimo. That's a bit far actually. You get the point. Yuki, the best character? She's not bad, she's cool. Really cool, I love her. Best character? Can beat Yuta in a fight. 10 out of 10. It's been reduced to dust. God. Something is wrong with some of you guys. I respect it though, W Ragebait. Nobara is a good enough character. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how other people would really feel about this. Yeah, I think she is. I think she should have been in this story more because she was a good enough character. I'm thirsty, so I'm going to pause to Aura Farm again. I need to recharge after reading so much. Take this time to like, subscribe, become a member. Look at the top membership option, you get members only videos. I'm just saying. I'm broke, please help me. Explosive Grape, again. Gojo vs Sukuna should have never existed. Oh my god, it's another 10. We've had 2 10s in the span of 3 comments. What the hell? That is the most L take I've ever seen on Jujutsu Kaisen. Gojo vs Sukuna is the peak of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the reason why the series is as big as it is, why it's as loved as it is. Even the biggest JJK haters will sit there and admit that Gojo vs Sukuna is like 10 out of 10 peak fiction. Some people disagree with how it ended, but the actual fight itself, I've never seen anybody other than, I'm gonna call him out on it, Quirkless Shinobi, who didn't really mess with Gojo vs Sukuna. Gojo should have gotten mid to low diffed, and then he has an extreme high diff with Kashimo. Oh, he's a Kashimo Glazer. Kashimo and Sukuna have more interesting dynamic and they can trade blows. Okay, you're a Kashimo Glazer. Shibuya Incident was not the best arc. Yeah, I don't think so either. It was just really, really good. Toji should have survived after the battle with Megumi. No. I understand why you think that. He's very cool. It'd be nice to have around, but he wasn't meant to ever be a stay-around character. He was meant to set everything up for Maki to get her growth. I think he would have had too much... He would be too controversial. He would really throw a spanner in the works because he wouldn't side with anyone. He'd be a really rogue, like it would mess everything up big time. Although it would have been interesting to see him be there to save Gojo. Like imagine Gojo seeing Toji when he comes out the box. Oh. And then them actually like having a conversation and interacting. Do you know what? Maybe you've changed my mind. Maybe just a little bit. They should have talked in the airport. I know he was in the airport, but they should have... I'm getting distracted, sorry. Kyoto Sister School is an overhated event. Yeah, I agree, it's really cool. Todo vs Yuji is great. Mekamaru versus that bum who I can't remember what his name is great. I know, he's like a... Moving on. I wish disaster curses were in the Culling Games except Mahito because that's how it started. No, I think if the disaster curses survive the first setup arc of the manga, it kind of defeats the point of having the setup arc, you know? And plus, I mean, if a disaster curse wound up in Sendai Colony, it's getting cooked, so I just don't think they're on that level, you know? Although I'm glad you were able to admit that Mahito should go down because it's important narratively. You clearly have an A element of reading comprehension. Miwa could have been a strong as Kusakabe. Yeah, she could have if she trained and practiced, but she doesn't care enough because she's doing bare minimum to, like, survive without getting killed. Although, to be fair, she did put her life on the line to, like, mess up Kenjaku. But again, her whole thing is, like, she's got relatives that live in Japan. She'll do everything she can to save them, which is why she was so heavily involved. If she really put her mind to it, she probably could have become as strong as Kusakabe with, like, main character levels of training. But she didn't. I wish we saw Hanami more. I agree. We should have seen the domain. I think every disaster curse should have had more than just one big fight. With the exception of Jogo and Mahito, they kind of got a decent amount of attention. Dagon and Hanami got packed up in their first encounters with anyone significant. It's kind of annoying. Nobara should have come back earlier. I agree, but I don't hate how Nobara was done. These are good takes. I'm okay with them. You did good. Damn, some JJK fans really aren't that bad. 1. You can't damage souls without a mediator such as curse techniques. I hope... Okay, yeah? Who said otherwise? Why is this a hot take? You're just explaining how the verse works. Yuji doesn't hit the soul, only the barrier. Yeah, we know that. He might. He hit Mahito's soul. But that's... okay. People misunderstand the way the Mahito soul thing works. For Mahito, the soul is the body, and the body is the soul. Kind of. Because if he changes the shape of the soul, he changes the shape of the body, but he hides part of his soul. Yuji can identify his soul and hit it. It kind of works in a similar way. I'm explaining this horrifically. If you don't understand or think I'm wrong, I don't blame you. That was a horrific explanation. Basically, it's not definitive proof that Yuji can strike the soul directly. Striking the barrier, we know he can do. It's not a horrific take. 2. The top tiers are much closer in stats than people think. In terms of anyone other than Gojo, yeah, I don't think that's a crazy hot take either. Okay. The top tiers is in the heavy hitters, like Kakari, Maki, Yuji, and Yuta. Yes, like physical stat-wise, they're all relative. They literally are. Yuta is undeniably top 3. W takes. Insanely W takes. Yes. Yes. Amazing. Beautiful. Mwah. Yuta can beat both Yuji and Kakari at the same time. End of story? Maybe. It's not crazy. I don't think they'd beat him at the same time. I guess it's still a 2v2 because it's Rika and Yuta versus Yuji and Hikari is screwed because Jacob's Ladder just turns off Jackpot. Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. I'll allow it. W glaze. W glaze. Toji's oh.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Toji is a bum and a terrible character. His strength is dependent on Maki, and his death was emotionally manipulative. Toji is a bum and a terrible character. His strength is dependent on Maki, and his death was emotionally manipulative. He was introduced a quarter of the way through the series, fried the strongest character in the verse at the time, dipped within like 10 chapters out of a 271 chapter manga. Imagine only being present for like he's present for like 2% of the manga. My math could be horrific. He's present for not a lot of the manga, and he's a goat. His death was emotionally manipulative. Dude, he's not real. He's not your crazy ex-girlfriend, bro. Toji ain't real, bro. He's not emotionally manipulating you. He's a fictional character. Emotionally manipulative. Oh. His strength is dependent on Maki. He has incredible feats and statements on his own. Sure, he is upscaled by what Maki does, fine. But that's not all he's got. Because he's already got crazy feats by himself. If anything, Maki's strength is also dependent on him. It is more so because the statement of Maki becomes equal to Toji. It works both ways. Emotionally manipulative. Jogo beats Volume 0 Yuta. Get out of my comment section. Anyway, Gojo over Sukuna. Hear me out. Hear me out. Gojo's kit is just better against 99% of opponents, but Sukuna had a winning matchup with Gojo. See how much better Jogo does in cross-verse discussions? For JJK scales... Is this even English? Are we really bringing cross-verse into... I kind of want to skip it. Shall I just skip it? Should we just not read it? I might... No. We gotta be respectful. We gotta be respectful to the opinions. Gojo over Sukuna. Hear me out. Hear me out. Gojo's kit is just better against 99% of opponents, but Sukuna had a winning matchup with Gojo. You've answered your own question. Against anybody else ever, Gojo is stronger than Sukuna. Against Sukuna, Sukuna is stronger. Therefore, Sukuna over Gojo, Gojo over everyone else. So it's Sukuna over Gojo over rest. That doesn't mean Gojo, you've literally said it yourself. You said Gojo's better against 99% of opponents, but Sukuna had a winning matchup with Gojo. Exactly. You've contradicted yourself. I don't need to say anything more, you've done it yourself. See how much better Gojo does in cross-verse discussions? Cross-verse discussions are stupid and they mean nothing in terms of the actual universe you're talking about. Because in order to do cross-verse, you've got to verse equalize, you've got to make a whole bunch of assumptions, stupid assumptions. It doesn't work, it's just fun. So you cannot bring cross-verse discussions into the one universe. You can't do it. It doesn't work. It's invalid completely. Sukuna's fingers do not amp his strength and speed. That is a flaming hot take, because what else do they do? But I don't think it's crazy. We just don't know. We don't know. Yuji beats Yuki high diff. Not crazy. I disagree, but not crazy. Tengen is the original cursed being whose soul expands forever in time and space, creating cursed energy, fate, etc. She created jujutsu and specifically barrier techniques to periodically refresh them. This is a W theory, bro, not a hot take. Plasma vessel and space, Culling Game sacrifices, so she doesn't become the universe or a literal god. But those barriers are also hotboxing curses over Japan, even with some leakage over time. Her divine eye, the derived 6 eyes power, can see all cursed energy because she's looking at her own domain affect life across Japan. Her descendants, Gojo, Yuki, and Kuyori, all had slices of Tengen's master space-time soul expansion power. What? Why Kuyori? That's Rogue One. All had slices of Tengen's master space-time soul expansion power. Okay, that's a... yeah. As all compatible vessels might. Domain expansions, in general, came from Tengen teaching others something that she's all too familiar with and cannot stop for herself. W theory, I love it. It's not a hot take, it's just... yeah, you're smart, bro. How many of these... oh, okay, we're nearly at the end, nice. I think Yuta would have died to Kashimo had he gone to Tokyo Colony number 2. Not necessarily that he's conventionally stronger, just that I think the surprise factor of the lightning bolt would be enough to take him down. Now, okay, if we're talking Sendai Colony Yuta, I don't disagree. Well, I disagree, but I don't think it's crazy, I'll be honest. As the glazer I am, I don't think it's insane to say that. I think Yuta... The thing people forget about Kashimo is that in order to use the sure hit lightning, Kashimo has to make direct contact with you in a lethal area. He would have to hit Yuta's face, because Yuta's reverse curse technique is like absolutely insanely busted. So he has to one-shot him to the head. Is Yuta letting his face get punched in? Well, he fought Ryu, Uro, Kururushi, and Druv. The only time he got hit in the face was when he let Uro elbow him, because Uro used her sky manipulation to like bend his defense away. So he didn't really have a choice, but Kashimo doesn't have anything like that. So it's going to be very difficult for Kashimo to place the charge, especially since it'll be a 2v1 with Rika there. Putting the charge on Rika won't do anything because Rika cannot be killed, as stated. And Yuta's got that mindset where he will just mess you up. Like, he doesn't like fighting. He wants that shit to be over with fast. I disagree, but I don't think it's crazy. Yuji doesn't have the talent or potential to surpass Gojo or Sukuna. Doesn't have the talent or potential. The talent! His talent is Sukuna's talent. His potential is Sukuna's potential. Stated by Gege in the manga. So it's blatantly wrong. It's stated that Sukuna's talent engraved itself on Yuji. That's a whole thing that happened in the manga. To surpass Gojo or Sukuna, even if he did, it would be some bullshit power-up. With that in mind, the JJK heavy hitters are Three-Finger Sukuna. Okay, no. And Yuji being superhuman doesn't matter considering Gojo is practically a god. This is mental. This is insane glaze. This is generation. This is a 10. This is a 10. You've burnt it to cinders. You've Thanos snapped this take out of existence with your insanely hot oven, bro. This is some next level hot takeage. Most of the villains in the series are stupid. Kenjaku's smart, but also very dumb at the same time. I think the scary thing about Kenjaku, though, is that in the moment he's dumb, it's because he genuinely just doesn't care. Whatever happens, happens. It's not crazy, though. Most of the villains are pretty dumb. Yeah, that's fair. The power system of the series is awful. No. Gojo is overrated as a character. No. JJK is just poorly written mashup of Bleach and Naruto. No. There's a lot of inspiration from Bleach. There's not as much inspiration from Naruto as Bleach. People think there's more. I've seen both of these, by the way. That one's, yeah, there's some, but like Bleach, there's a lot of inspiration in terms of abilities. Like there's also loads of My Hero inspiration, like, but it's things like character names and designs and power designs. The actual narrative and the story is, some themes are similar, but they're executed completely differently. Completely differently. Like, absolutely, completely not the same in terms of the story and plot. Just not. Not poorly written at all. I think Bleach and Naruto, like, JJK has peak writing, it has L writing. Bleach and Naruto have peak writing, they also have L writing. You're gonna sit there and tell me all of Bleach and Naruto is perfection? No. Am I gonna tell you all of JJK is perfection? No. They both have peaks, they both have lows. I don't think you can really compare that. I don't think it's poorly written in comparison. All it has, if you were to tell me you think all three of them are poorly written, fair, I can't fault you on that. But saying one is poorly written because it has flaws, and they're not applying the same to Bleach and Naruto, makes me think you either don't understand the writing of Jujutsu Kaisen, or just overglazing these two. Either way, it's fine, you're entitled to your opinion, but I just think you're wrong. All it has going for it is great animation. We're talking about the manga, so you're not even right about that. It's fine for what it is, but I don't understand the hype at all. You don't have to understand it, that's fine. Go consume something else, that's no problem. Alright, that's all good. The final take, and I see the word Yuta, it's making me happy. Yuta will always be stronger than Yuji, even at full potential. Oh, what a take to end it off on. They are both great main characters, but I don't see any answers to Yuta and in Yuji's kit with Shrine, Blood Manipulation. Okay, well the Shrine thing's iffy because Yuji can just heal back his finger and Yuta loses Shrine. Oh wait, you're talking about Yuji's Shrine. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Like, you don't see an answer, especially since Yuta possibly has Curse Manipulation now. Headcanon. Do you think Yuta could copy the technique of curses under his Curse Manipulation? I think if Rika ate a curse whole, she'd be able to copy the technique. Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm not reading the responses. That's the last take. We had like, what, 3 10 out of 10s? Like, we had 3. We had a load of 9s. We had a load of like 7, 8, 9s. Okay, some of you have absolutely awful, horrific, doo-doo, absolute like Miwa level takes that just made me want to. Some of you had some very good takes. Some of you had some really interesting opinions. I respect all of them. The 10 out of 10s, like the absolute hottest of the hot. The like Toji. The Toji is a bomb and it's terrible. Oh, it ruined my day. It ruined my day. But yeah, like, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of content. I realize it's a very, very different kind of video. I'm curious to see how it does. But yeah, let me know. Let me know below, and I will. I'll see you in a bit. Peace. I just wanted to clarify, because I know what some of you internet weirdos are like. The crying thing is a bit, bruv. Get over yourself. It was so I could put it in the title.